Greetings, I sincerely hope you're well. I'm doing a book review today for You've Lost a Lot of Blood by Eric LaRocca. I think I've got his name right. This book is fairly new. 2018 springs to mind. It might have been published then, I'm not totally sure, but it's newish. It's a horror novel, or a horror novella. It's written in the third person present, which is quite common for American authors, I believe. I would actually describe this one as a novella within a novella. It's about a serial killer who published a novella before he disappeared and went on the run. And the book switches between conversations between this serial killer and his boyfriend, and chapters of the novella that he actually wrote and published before he disappeared.
Thank you for making it to the halfway point of this video. This is a quick message to let you know that I have a range of horror and science fiction books available, and most of them are completely free. If you enjoy my work, you can support me without spending any money at all by simply leaving a review for one of my free books on Amazon, Goodreads, or any of the retailers' websites. You'll be helping me to grow as an author and a book reviewer. The links for my books are below, and your help is much appreciated. Now, back to the video.
As for the novella within the novella, the story of that revolves around a young woman who applies for a job in a mansion. She travels to this mansion with her younger brother to apply for a job as some kind of video game editor. She has to work on a video game in this mansion out in the country somewhere. She gets to the mansion and there's an old man who's confined to a bed in a room, and there's a woman there, and the woman is wearing some kind of mask. You don't get to see her face or anything like that. And there are also two female workers, like porters, if I remember correctly. I'm not going to spoil the story too much, but its main theme is about virtual reality, and there's also a strong time loop element to the story as well. It's about video games. It's about this video game, and it's about how real the video game is. And it's quite convoluted or deliberately confusing in a way with this time loop stuff as well. The thing that made this book for me, I didn't really enjoy it that much, but the good part for me was the conversations in this book between the serial killer and his old lover. I think his name was Marta, the main killer, and his boyfriend was Ambrose, I think. And there are a few chapters in the book where you kind of listen to recordings of their conversations, and I found them quite good. They discuss the horror genre, and there was one discussion in there about whether it's best in a horror film whether you actually see the monsters or whether you never see the monsters and they remain hidden. There was a good conversation about that. Another good one was about plagiarism. They discussed plagiarism in a philosophical way, and that got quite deep and interesting. I quite enjoyed that. And I remember one about suicide in the animal kingdom, which is quite random but interesting as well. And there's a discussion about art as well between these two people. Quite well written and well thought out as well. I've got mixed feelings about this book though, because it didn't scare me. You know, it's a horror book. It's a horror story, and I wasn't scared, so that it's got to lose marks there. I found the tone to be quite pretentious in a way as well. There's something about it that maybe it was trying too hard or something, but it's slightly pretentious tone. There's also poetry in the book as well, and the poems didn't really click with me that much as well. I wasn't that impressed by the poetry, and as a whole, I found the prose to be a little bit disorienting. I think it might be an American thing. I get this with Chuck Palahniuk as well, the author of Fight Club. When I read his books, he's got his own writing style, which is good. That's a good thing. But it's like he tries a little bit too hard, and it's a little bit too, kind of takes the long way around a little bit. Might just be me, but I just found the prose to be a little bit distracting and confusing in this book, and it didn't scare me that much. If I had to classify it, it's like time loop horror, maybe a little bit of body horror thrown in. It does have a creepy feel to it. It's quite an eerie feel, and it's not scary, but it's quite high quality. I gave the book 4 stars on Goodreads, which is quite a lot, and those 4 stars were mainly based on the conversations between the killer and his boyfriend, and I also thought that the virtual reality aspect of the story was quite well done, and I think the whole time loop element to the story was good. So there are some good details in there. Good details in the story that kind of tie together nicely, and it creates this weird loop. So, generally speaking, the book's quality is quite high. I can tell that the author put a lot of time and effort into it, but for some reason it just didn't quite click with me. Okay, so should you read it? I can't recommend it really, because it didn't really click with me. So if you like poetry, you might like it. If you like a bit of philosophy here and there, it might be worth reading. I did enjoy those parts of the book, but if you're looking for a horror story that's really gets under your skin and terrifies you, I don't think you're going to be terrified by this book. Okay, the cover's good. I like the cover, but I wasn't that impressed by this book. Okay, so there you go, 4 stars. It's not a bad review, but not brilliant. Okay, so there you go. Thanks very much for watching. I'll be back in 2 weeks with another book review. Until then, try to have a good day on this bloody, virtual, disorienting piece of rock we call Earth. Lots of literary love. Goodbye.